Begin tonight with crime and punishment. A former Raleigh County firefighter has been sentenced to up to 130 years in prison. That's after he pled guilty to sexually assaulting a minor. Our Galen Markham is bringing us the very latest.
On Monday, 36-year-old William Pettry received the maximum possible sentence allowable by law for 3 sexual assault charges that he pled guilty to earlier this year. In March, Pettry pled guilty to 1 count of first-degree sexual assault, 1 count of sexual assault by a parent, guardian, or custodian, or person in position of trust, and 1 count of use of a minor in filming sexually explicit content. At Monday's sentencing hearing, Raleigh County prosecuting attorney Ben Hatfield asked the court to implement the maximum sentence due to the explicit nature of these crimes, which took place between March of 2023 and July of 2023.
Let me outline for the court, and if it makes the court uncomfortable, pardon my perspective in saying good.
He says the explicit messages and videos sent to the victim from Pettry will most likely haunt her for the rest of her life. Meanwhile, defense counsel asked the court to consider Pettry's place in the community when deciding a sentence. Prior to being arrested, he was a member of the Coal River Volunteer Fire Department and made headlines in March of last year when he responded to a car wreck that killed his wife and daughter.
Before his crimes, my client, Mr. Pettry, was a member of high standing in his community. He served as a volunteer firefighter, and it appears that he was dedicated and selfless in that role. And I believe that says something about his character.
However, Raleigh County Circuit Court Judge Andrew Dimlick imposed the maximum sentence. He says several factors led to that decision.
She was essentially tortured by you. And this was not a one-time incident, which wouldn't have made it any better. But this is an incident that spans several months. And I think the only reason it stopped was because you were arrested. All I have to go from is the pre-sentence report and your statements made about the remorse you feel, and I don't see it.
We caught up with Hatfield following Monday's proceedings, and while the court swung in his favor, he says no verdict or sentence can turn back the clock.
I didn't make anything better today. What I did was I showed a little girl that the system will stand up for you when someone has done something wrong to you. Hopefully, I showed her that it was not her fault. She had no part to play in it, and that she didn't ask for this in any way.
Here for you in Raleigh County, I'm Galen Markham, WVVA News.
Thank you, Galen. Pettry's sentences will be served one after another, meaning he faces anywhere from 37.5 to 130 years behind bars. He must register as a sex offender, for the remainder of his life, and if he is ever released from prison, he must undergo 50 years of post-release supervision.